Sure. My name is Aaron Flynn. I'm the general manager for Improbable's North American operations.
With where Improbable is right now, with the investments that you've made recently, what would you say to a consumer that maybe hasn't heard the name Improbable, hasn't heard SpatialOS before? Like, what's the top line of what is being offered here and how they can benefit from it?
Do you mean if that customer is a game developer themselves, or are they a game player?
Game player.
Oh, well, I think I would talk to them about some of the benefits we offer in terms of harnessing all this amazing opportunity of cloud compute. You know, the cloud's now all around us, and there's just huge, vast amounts of compute that can be strung together and made to be used for better experiences. And that's a difficult challenge. You know, the platform is there to do that, but it's ultimately up to the game designers to come up with interesting and really cool ways to harness that compute, right? No different than when a new console comes out. You get all this extra headroom for compute. What are you going to do with it? Well, that's the challenge. So I'd say it's exciting to have access to that, and we look forward to delivering game experiences that take advantage of that.
At E3, we kind of got our first real look at Midwinter Games Scavenger, which it was an incredible game. It was an incredible first experience of it. And how do you intend to follow up with products sort of like Midwinter Games and Scavengers?
Yeah, so Scavengers is a really awesome, fun, tight, session-based shooter that uses SpatialOS not only to help them build the game in the studio, but also to then extend the experience with all sorts of cool stuff that SpatialOS provides. We in Edmonton are building an online RPG. That online RPG is a different kind of a game. It's in a different universe. It's set in a different universe. It offers a different kind of experience. But we definitely want to aspire to achieve what they're achieving with their game, and then do it in a way that feels as fresh and unique to the online RPG space as Scavengers feels to that kind of session shooter-based experience.
With a new landscape of technology literally right around the corner, we have next-gen consoles coming up. We also have streaming in the form of like Stadia and other products like it. Do you feel like that's going to have a minor or major effect on the development and direction of SpatialOS and Improbable?
Well, I hope a major effect in that. I hope that those new platforms themselves, which are very consumer-facing, player-facing, whereas ours is in the back end, right? Our platform is very compatible with those things. We want our platform to be used by next-gen console developers. We want it to be used by Stadia developers, right? And so our platform, which lets you harness more of this computing power in the cloud, supplements and supports all those endeavors, right? And I think my hope is that the more players see what these new pieces of hardware can do, or Stadia as a service can do, the more they're going to say, oh wow, I want more of that, and that's where SpatialOS comes in and gives developers the chance to harness more server bandwidth and more stuff on the back end in ways that they couldn't possibly do when they were constrained to one physical box.
As we approach that sort of technological shift, that major jump in 2020, what do you see as maybe the greatest challenge going forward with your technology compared to everything else going on?
Well, there's definitely technical hurdles. It's a very difficult problem to get many servers to talk to each other in a performant way, so that the player doesn't feel that transition, doesn't feel those adjustments. That is a lot of work to get that done, but I like where we're at with it, and our game takes advantage of some of those technologies now, and so it's cool to see them being used. But I think I said this in my talk today. I think that as much as there's that, I think there's still room to improve social experiences for players themselves. Technology I think will be a part of that, but I think there's a much more holistic approach we can take with these new pieces of hardware and new services like Stadia. I mean, they don't by themselves help solve it, but I think it's a chance to create experiences that rethink how we do this and how we create these communities and what we can do to foster more trust and foster more kindness or support or wellness in these communities. And I think that's going to be really cool to see. Again, SpatialOS doesn't solve that problem per se. Designs solve that problem, but hopefully with more compute in the back end and some of these things, at least that won't be a consideration anymore. You won't be feeling like you've got no ability to do that because you've got no bandwidth in your server. Hopefully you can start to imagine new things you can do in the design side of things that help foster good communities.
And with such a forward sort of initiative in cloud-based systems as you have, do you feel like SpatialOS and Improbable are in a uniquely advantageous position coming into this sort of new era of streaming?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Again, our ability to offer more of what you love in the back end, in an accessible, meaningful way is a really cool thing, and there aren't many other teams trying to accomplish this. Again, I benefit because I've seen it with our own game and I've seen what it can do there. I showed a couple of little technical demos at my talk today, but it's a really cool frontier to be part of, and I'm really hopeful that by the next year we're going to really show people some cool stuff that's going on.